Hey, what's up, family? Hope you're having a lovely day or evening or whenever it is you're seeing this. It's Saturday morning here, sunny Southern California. It's feeling really good, nice and warm today. And after my brain fart passes, being out in nature, that's what I was going to talk about. This fucking dog, I love it. Being out in nature, man. Encouragement. If you're a human of any kind, it's good. It's good to connect with nature. It's good to be outdoors. Especially for those of you that are dealing with healing from trauma, PTSD, complex trauma, or any of a variety of other health issues and mental health issues. Honestly, science is showing that being outdoors and like forest therapy and all these different things are some of the best treatments for actually like dealing with a lot of these issues, and oftentimes even better than like medication therapy, etc. Exercise as well. Exercise is the foundation of health. But most doctors aren't really talking about these things, of course. And I'm not a medical professional. Do not do not try to twist anything and say anything along those lines. But most doctors aren't going to recommend exercise and being outdoors and sunlight and relationships and movement, because there's no money in those. The system is set up to make more money, and sick people are the best source of that, because when somebody's sick and or dying, they'll put their last penny into trying to reverse that. But having our trust in these people that don't deserve it creates kind of a conundrum for us as individuals and for society at large. Anyways, nature, it's fucking good. It's good for you. It's good for health. It's good for so many different things. And this whole concept, man, I like the concept of like nature versus humans. Like with so many things, especially in Western cultures, we tend to think of ourselves as outside of and looking into these systems or other objects. And especially this thought that there's like some kind of divide between she met a little friend. That's Mirabai. That's my sweet girl, freaking miracle doggy. Yeah, we have this idea that we're somehow separate from nature, or ever could be, as if like we are literally nature. We are made out of it. Every atom of our freaking bodies. We're mostly water, so that's another good one to pay attention to if you have any kind of illness, chronic illnesses especially. But this idea that we're separate from nature, it's just a word, but language has such powerful impacts on how we see things and perceive things, and then on how we act in the world. And in reality, the greatest source of our health and wealth is the natural world around us, like the earth, the various like ecosystems and ecologies and geology across time of the entire planet Earth. This is the source of every economy, of every aspect of human economy that exists. It's all contained within it. Mirabai, come. Good girl. We live within ecology, the economy, the human economies, and all the stuff that's invented in our head and assigned like abstract random rules to. A lot of it, it's a little tiny percentage of the ecology of the ecosystems of the earth. Those are the real source of wealth. Those are the source of health, and our disconnection from the earth is the source of most of our lack thereof, and most of our problems and chronic issues, and a lot of society's dysfunction, a lot of our personal health challenges, especially chronic issues. But Mirabai. This way. Getting out in nature, dude. Getting out in nature, whatever that might be. If you're in the city, your options might be limited, but generally there's at least like parks and a little patch of grass and trees around. If that's all you got, like that can be enough, dude. That can be enough to start to shift things and change things. And I know from personal experience, man, I've been digging out of a hole the past 18 months and was reminded by a friend of mine, because I do have stuff around ADD and perfectionism and feeling like I've lost so much over the years, and there's a part of me that just wants to jump back in and be where I was at, when I was like 22 or 27, and I was, like doing triathlons and shit like that, and I feel like God should restore me because I've done all this work and I need to jump back to that level. It's like that's not how it works. Sometimes it's just little baby steps. And a good friend of mine reminded me, like, do what you can with prayer and movement and even just taking supplements again consistently, because that's been big for me over the years. Our food system and the minerals and nutrients in our food supply are, especially in the United States, it's not like this everywhere, but it's been pretty devastated by really, really, really horrible agricultural practices over the last few hundred years, especially since the Industrial Revolution in the 40s and 50s. But this stuff predates that. but just being reminded, like, it's okay to take little tiny steps sometimes. And when you're dealing with a lot of issues and complex, compounded, chronic issues, like, that's all you got sometimes. And so it was last spring, or a little bit beyond that, actually, no. But just like, if all I could do in that day was take a walk for 20 minutes, stretch, go up and down the hill by my house, that's what I was going to do, and be grateful for that, and not be like, why am I not at XYZ point where I was before, where I want to be, where I feel like I should be. The danger of should, man, it's the source of so much suffering. Resistance against what is and where we're at. Not recommend. I do not recommend. But anyways, dude, being out in nature, realizing that we are nature, that our bodies are inseparable from our environment. Our health is inseparable from our environment and from our relationships. I mean, relationships are just freaking huge, dude. That's a whole nother series of talks to share. That's one of the most unrecognized things that are like our human health and society is completely dependent on it, man. And if you've only had sick and unhealthy and toxic relationships in your life, like your body, your life, your career, everything is going to reflect that, because they're critical. It's critical for us to have those things as children, as at every stage of our life. Relationships are crucial. But yeah, I want to remind you today, get out in nature, like, do whatever you can. Even if you have to call it nature in air quotes, man, the more time you spend and just like just trying to de-stress, just trying to de-stress wherever you can. Breathing in, man, breath is magic. Breath is magic, water is magic, our food is magic. So many of the things that are so powerful in health is they're so basic, and people just skip right over them because it seems too easy, it seems too straightforward. But at the end of the day, most of us have not ever been trained in the proper ways to do these things, to inhabit our body, to exercise, to stretch, to breathe deeply, to eat clean food, to grow our own food where we can. It's just so many things that are really beneficial. But the other thing that I wanted to mention in terms of quote unquote nature, this freaking girl, man, finding companions. Oh yeah, two things. So being at a park, going to the park in town, if you have like complex trauma and PTSD and stuff like that, and that obviously makes the relationship the relationship dynamic can be really problematic if you've had a lot of trauma in your life at the hands of other people. Hey! She's walking up. Thinking she's gonna go up out on the street. There's a little like gate in this wall right down there. What was I saying? Two things. Yeah. So if you're in a city, if the only thing that you have is like a park to go out and be in the natural world, you know, if you can't get outside of town, go into like hiking areas or places where there's a lot more trees, a lot more oxygen, a lot more like negative ions that recharges our body, like do that. Parks are really good, especially earthing, you know, doing deep breathing, stretching, tai chi, yoga. There's so many things that you can look up and like infinite free resources online for all of this stuff, and books, etc. and classes, you know, classes usually locally if you have the means. Again, kind of dependent on where you're at, but most medium-sized towns and definitely all cities have resources in these departments. But there's free stuff online, YouTube and everywhere else. Earthing is really good, taking your shoes off and walking around, because the negative ions are meant to charge and recycle out through our body, and those are the things that lead to oxygen. What's the word? Like oxidation, free radicals, damage when they can't get out of our body, which happens when we're wearing shoes all the time, and you know, and a lot of other things. There's so many things like that. These little toxicities just build up and build up and build up until our body can't handle them anymore, and then we have chronic illness or the C word, the big C word, not the more recent 2021. But yeah, just going barefoot. Stretching, breathing, man, breathing. Holy crap! That's another thing that can unlock a lot of trauma, if that's part of your story as well. But just being in a park and where PTSD comes into this, if you've suffered a lot at the hands of other people and you don't trust people and you can't really, you're not at a place where you can establish safe relationships yet, just being in a park, like around other humans, in like a safe enough place so you don't have to interact with them, just seeing like normal people and part of the normal human family walking around doing normal human things can be healing over time, you know, in small doses as you feel safe. It's powerful. It's powerful medicine, and just take it, you know, day at a time, little drops where you can. But the other thing I wanted to say, and in terms of animals, having an animal, having a dog especially, has been huge for me in my healing journey over the years, and especially in this most recent round of dealing with dealing with certain kind of characters and criminals and shit like that. Like not only has this girl like saved me literally a whole bunch of times, but just over the course of 18 months, you know, she's a service dog, PTSD service dog, and just slowly unwinding my nervous system and getting to where I feel safe again in tiny little doses has been huge. And when you spend time around an animal consistently like that, part of what happens, this is just my theory, I haven't looked into the science of any of this, but hey baby, come here. You want to say hi? Say hi. Love her. Part of what happens is that these animals, because they're so connected into the ecosystem and the nervous system and the intelligence of the earth and of the other living creatures around, in ways that we are and we can be, and we can develop that more. But the intelligence lives in everything, even in like the grass. The soil is so freaking complex. It's as complex as anything we know above ground. The water cycles, the air cycles, the energy cycles, man, all these things are like infinitely complex and really, really cool. And animals can help us to tap into that complexity, because you know the saying they used to have in the 80s where it's like, we don't use 90% of our brain or something like that. Complete BS. where that number came from is like 90 to 95% of our brain and nervous system is in our subconscious. It's our physical body. Our physical body is the manifestation, and our life situations are the manifestation of our subconscious. Largely our belief systems, as far as they're connected to our brain, but the rest of our body, especially our heart and our gut, and now we're finding out we have these other like nervous system centers where all the chakras are in our body, and smaller ones, smaller wheels out at the joints, and it's crazy, the energetic field that science is catching up to what mystics and the spiritual people have known for thousands of years, dude, and tried to explain it in the best language we had at the time. Science is so cute like that. I love it when science catches up to reality and explains it in a way when science is actually humble and is science instead of a fucking religion like it's usually practiced in this day and age, scientism. But having an animal is freaking magic. A dog especially, cats tend to be more homebodies and not as interactive. I know some people that do take their cats out for like walks and things like that, and they have their own intelligence, and cats are freaking amazing too. But having a dog, it's just like, it's a way to plug into the nervous system of the earth and the literal, like, the intelligence of the trees and the animals that inhabit the wilder places, from parks out to complete wilderness zones. And as you spend time with an animal, a dog especially, if you travel with them all over the place, your body's intelligence, your subconscious, the rest of your physical body that is not in play for so many of us so much of the time, that starts to get activated through the animal and through your interactions with the animal, through their awareness and all of their senses that are so much sharper than ours, like 10,000 times more potent than ours in many arenas. And then we have our gifts that we give to them as well, man. It's a magic freaking dance. So that's another really good way to connect in with nature, like being around other species, having plants in your house, and doing whatever you can to communicate in these departments. It works because our voice, the words that we say, all these things are like so freaking potent. And a lot of magic in this world is through water. If you never heard of Wasaru Emoto, messages in the water, this guy did some work like 10-20 years ago. It must have been 20 years ago now, because I think he passed away like at least 10 years ago. But look up Wasaru Emoto, Messages in Water, and his work. He probably, I think he wrote other books as well, but a lot of papers and things too. Our words are so fucking magical and so powerful, because most of the living system on the earth that is in front of us, even though it looks solid and it looks like air and this, that, and the other, it's all water. And other atoms, other molecules also carry the imprint of our words and what we're observing. Quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and everything is like revealed so much in this department in recent years. So you can tap into the intelligence of the earth, and the more you do that, the healthier you're going to get, and the more you're going to be able to heal even these very, very complex and difficult to treat things like PTSD and complex PTSD, chronic health challenges, etc., etc., etc. But you gotta put yourself in a place to be able to interact and to be able to listen. Dude, listening is huge. As humans, we're not taught that, especially not in this culture. But largely, humans are not taught how to listen, and definitely not to communicate with the freaking world around us. Where we're taught to distrust our bodies, distrust our senses, distrust our feelings. Don't trust your heart. Definitely, out of everything, don't trust your heart. The one fucking thing that we actually need to have healthy and forward movement, healthy lives and forward movement in the earth. It's our heart, dude. Our heart, our feelings, our emotions. It's the freaking compass for everything. For our life journey, our life path. Mirabai. What you doing? What you doing? Sorry, yeah, she likes you. She's not like that with everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's very special eyes.
I forget it's got a name. It's got a name for it. I don't remember the proper word, but yeah, she's sweet. She's a very, very special girl. Very magical. Thank you. Goodbye. She keeps going up this lady. She was real standoffish when I got her. Come here. Mirabai, come. Papa says. Right here. Thank you, baby girl. Sit. Waiting. Waiting. What are you doing? You need your own time, don't you? Don't you know? You stay. Papa says stay. Sit, please. She wants to wrestle now. It's been huge, dude. Mirabai, leave it. Yeah, she wants to play now. I woke up wrestling this morning. She's so freaking cool. Yeah, huge healing, dude. Animals can be so freaking healing because our nervous systems are so much the same. Mammals, especially dogs. Dogs are very social. Cats are less social overall. In most circumstances, they're less of a group creature, more solitary. But that's what works for some of us some of the time, or for some of us all the time, or whatever. Get an animal. Be out in nature. You are nature. Your body is nature. You are water. You are air. You are space. You are all these freaking things, man. And it just feels better. It just feels better. Anyone can tell at this point when you're stuck inside an office all day, all week, month after month, year after year, in a little cubicle with that horrible freaking fluorescent lighting and all this stuff, you get sick. You literally get sick. Our bodies aren't meant to be like that, and to be stationary, and to be solitary, and to be in these little boxes and these situations that, like, so much the modern era has created, and so many countries are building and gravitating towards right now, man. It's not the way. It's not the way. It's freaking dangerous territory. Anyways, I think that's everything I was gonna say. Be out in nature. Animals connect us to the nervous system of the earth, and we are mostly subconscious. Your body and your life and your belief system. Your life is the outward expression of your belief system, and the primary. Our thoughts can affect these things to a certain extent, but generally speaking, our thoughts are the results of all these deeper issues and beliefs. Our beliefs and all the stuff we've gone through, and especially if you have freaking trauma, if you have a lifetime of trauma, there's you gotta unwind all that stuff if you want health. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. It can be the work of a lifetime, depending on the extent of it and what you've gone through. But being out in nature, dude, baby steps, getting your bare feet on the grass, getting your toes in the water, getting out. If you live somewhere you can get out of town, even better. You can get up in the mountains, the air. The more you go outside of a city and up into like the hills or the mountains, the air is cleaner. There's less pollution. There's less static from all the electronics and the Wi-Fi signals and all that kind of stuff. That's just like constant barrage in our bodies and our nervous systems when you live in a city. And so many people now don't even know the difference. They don't even know like what healthy would feel like if they've grown up in this. If you're 20, 30 years old, 40, millennials. I mean, I'm like a cusp Gen X, but I remember the world before electronics and all this stuff. Video games were just coming out when I was a kid and a teenager. I was like, all these things that like just junk our brain out with fucking dopamine and stuff like that, but they don't provide any satisfaction, any long-term health, any connection with other people. They've got to be, it has their place. Technology has its place, and there's so many freaking wonderful things that it provides. But we also have to engage with it in a balanced way of our own choosing, and human health and our own health and mental health needs to be the priority. It's got to be the priority, man. We can't go into this world with like so many people, like 40% of people with chronic health issues, and kids with like learning, like the numbers are just like the learning disabilities and chronic and long-term health issues are just astronomical, man. And Mirabai, sorry, she's a little too friendly sometimes. Not everyone appreciates that. Come here, sweet girl. What Papa telling you? Come here. Mirabai, come. Take your time. Health, man. Health is the foundation. Come here, sit. Come here, sit. Girlie. Right here. Thank you. Yes, you good girlie. Good girlie. There's a happy girl right there. It's a happy girl. Health, man. Health is the foundation of everything. There's no wealth without health. There's no nothing. There's no fucking nothing, man. I've been dealing with complex chronic health issues for 15 years, and you know when you get it yanked out from underneath you how precious it is. It's hard to understand when you have it, or some semblance of it, or whatever you've grown up with that feels healthy. But now, doctors in this day and age, in our culture, our society at large, says, well, if you're not in the hospital, you're healthy. If you're not on, most people, they're like prescriptions and all the freaking drugs and medicines and stuff. That's just considered normal now. It's considered normal now to be like a constant, continuous chronic patient for like major freaking health issues, dude. It's not normal. And if we keep accepting that world and trying to bend ourselves to fit into it and living in that world, man, it's not looking good for humanity. It's already like we've gone off a cliff in the last couple decades. Anyways, ADD on. I love you guys. I hope you're having a good day. Any thoughts that you have? Make sure you hit the like button if you like this content, and if you have stuff that you've overcome, health challenges, or if you want to leave a tip for other people, so in the comments below. Hope you're having a great weekend.